Hey, record loving friends, this is Brian from Tokyo Record Style. I have a friend in town and I'm gonna go meet him in Shimokitizawa. We've got a couple of friends who are meeting up, Tokyo Record Style friends. And normally I would take my bike there, but my motorcycle's starter is all screwed up and I'm gonna rebuild it tomorrow. So I'm gonna ride my bike there to the train station and then bring you along with me. There's actually a couple of interesting exhibitions happening there right now, and if they're still on by the time I get there, I'm excited to show them to you. So come with me on a trip to Shimokitazawa. Yay, let's go! Okay, I'm in my little neighborhood here. Here's my local book off where I buy some records sometimes. And here is my little Shotengai shopping street, which is quite nice. There's a gyoza shop and some little restaurants down the back alleys. A number of convenience stores, all the flavors you like. 7-Eleven, Lawson, Family Mart, Daily Yamazaki, which is kind of a rare one. It's actually quite a nice little neighborhood. I really love where I live. I'm very lucky, and we have this long shopping street down this way, and then back down this way. It's this quaint little neighborhood. It's called Hamadayama. I'm about a 7-minute walk from the station. And yeah, I'm gonna bring you on the train. I don't often ride the train, and I'm excited to give you a little train ride to Shimokitazawa. I'm halfway between Shimokita and Kichijoji. It's really easy to navigate by bicycle or motorcycle, but today I'm gonna go by train. So let's go. You guys can check it out. Quite a small station on the Inokashira line, and it's a local stop, not a express stop. Very neighborhoody. Here comes the express train passes us, and actually there's kind of a cool record bar here. I've never actually been. Somewhere up there. I've seen it before. This is a little waiting room that you can, if it's hot or cold, there's air conditioning, you can go in. And here comes the train that's going to Kichijoji. So there's trains that come about every 7 or 8 minutes, maybe like every 10 minutes on the weekend or every 5 minutes during peak hours. And there you go, there it is up there. Backbeat. Sake and the night, and the good old music. Jazz, blues, bossa nova, AOR, R&B, country, swamp Latin, and soft rock, doo-wop, pops, etc. Looks kind of fun. And I just noticed out of the corner of my eye, there was quite a nice yukata, a summer kimono that this woman is wearing. It's quite cool and a little bit modern design. Maybe you can see it off in the distance. And this is the place where we've called home for a few years, 10 years maybe, since our kids were born, on the Inokashira line. And it's about 4 or 5 stations to Shimokita in that direction, and about 4 or 5 stations to Kichijoji in that direction. So we like it here a lot. So I'm happy to bring you along on another little Tokyo record style adventure. I love these converging lines. This always makes for a good photo when the lines are converging in all different directions, and there's a vanishing point off here in the distance. And if you can put the vanishing point in one of the golden medium quadrants in one of the 4 corners, then it always makes for a good photo. And pyramids, you can see a pyramid right here. That's always a strong photography shape. Rambling, kind of fun to ride the train. I haven't ridden it in so long. I'm not much of a train rider these days. Sometimes you ask your friends, what's your closest station? They say, I don't know. I'm so central, I don't even ride the train. And you're just like, trains are for the plebes, and they are in a way, but it is also fun to crack the train code. Actually, like, the trains are so much of what makes Tokyo what it is. people talk about the 4 stages of culture shock. The first being like complete elation. You're happy to go where you've decided to go. The second is depression. You're wondering why the hell don't they do it the way that we do it back home. The third is kind of acceptance, where you've figured it out. You've patted yourself on the shoulder. You've cracked a few codes. And the fourth is reverse culture shock, when you go back to the place where you're from and everything seems backwards there. And I think cracking the train code is very much part of that third step of culture shock, figuring it out. Now this is really fun. When the train, you can hear the dun dun dun. If it goes dun dun dun, it means the train is going dun dun uptown. And if it's going dun dun dun, it's going downtown. And today we've got a blue train. The Inokashira line has a bunch of different colors of trains, and I got lucky with the blue train today. You're really lucky if you get the rainbow train. So here we go on the train. Oh, cool guy. It's nice, quiet, cool. And you can see the seats are very nice, and it's not so crowded when you're going into town, but when you're coming out of town late on a Friday night, it's going to get a little bit crowded. But we've got TVs over here that kind of tell us what station's next. And they come in Japanese and English. And then we've got a little special announcements here. Every week or so, somebody comes in with this interesting contraption and they change all the signs, the advertising signs, they swap these out. They've got this crazy system, the guys who change the posters. We've got the white loops for holding on for most people. And in the priority section, we've got yellow seats and yellow loops. And here we've got no seats, and this would be for baby cars, strollers, prams, differently abled people, wheelchairs, and so on. And we're meant to turn off our devices in this area so as not to interfere with pacemakers and such. So I'll move back over here. So here's what we'll do. We'll just walk out of the station and we'll cross over here, like all these people are doing, to the other side of the train tracks, and we'll wait for the express train to come. And this train will wait here for the express train to come and pass. And yeah, that's how you kind of get to and fro in the city. If you're on one of the local stops, then you get on the local train and get off at one of the local stops. And if you want to bypass a handful of stops, you get on the express train, and if you want to bypass a lot of stops, you get on the super express, and if you want to bypass even more, you get on the hyper ultra super fandango express. But the trains are kind of, awesome here. Actually, all social graces are a little bit off on the trains, especially in the morning in the rush hour to work. And on the last train, it's every man for himself, and people sort of ignore the priority seat manners, but everybody pretty much is on their best behavior. Occasionally you'll see somebody a little crazed running up and down the train, making noise, not unlike you might see in some other big city. I'll tell you a funny story. I even saw a woman once, not a very nice woman, quite discriminatory. Now we're getting on the pink train. We've lucked out, transferring to the pink Inokashira Express train. One time I saw this really not very nice woman, a little bit older Japanese woman, shouting at a girl who was sitting right in front of her. She was standing right above her in the train row here, and she was shouting at a woman about half her age who was sitting down, who had her head down and kind of covering her face with her, and she was just trying to sort of shield herself from this really angry woman's sharp messages, and she was saying to her things like, "Don't you know the manners? You don't know what you're doing. This isn't China." Apparently the woman must have been Chinese. And, unfortunately, you see that from time to time. And she kept shouting at her, "This is not China, this is Japan." And it went on for a long ways, and kind of was making everybody on the train uncomfortable. And so we got on the next stop,
And she said she didn't get off, and we got off on the next stop, and this elderly woman just kept, or a little bit older woman, a Karen, you might say, a Japanese Karen, was just shouting at this woman, just berating her. And I actually took it upon myself to just kind of tap her on the shoulder and say, like, you know, probably enough. She probably gets it. It's kind of, you know, it's enough. And she looked at me and she said, don't you know, this woman's Chinese? And I said to the woman, I'm Chinese. She was really surprised. Everybody looked up and kind of laughed to themselves. And she was just so confused, and everybody was a little bit confused and kind of laughing under their breath. And yeah, it managed to end the confrontation, so I was happy about that. Here we are. Shimokita just got a giant facelift. And a lot of people lament that this area that I just showed you, it used to be this cool old black market, and oh, it's such a bummer that it's all gone, and Shimokita is not the little bohemian village that it once was, but it's still very charming, still very vibrant and cool and hip and filled with live houses and restaurants and so on. So, and it's a little bit nicer even. I mean, they polished the place up a bit, and that's what Tokyo does. It just sheds its skin over and over and over again. So nothing really new there. So the station has just been revamped, and this is the crossroads of the Odakyu line and the Inokashira line. I was told, like, after the war, the Odakyu company wanted to build 4 tracks from Shinjuku all the way down to Enoshima. They needed to plow down a bunch of houses for them to be able to build 4 tracks. They managed to accomplish that outside of Shinjuku, and they managed to accomplish it past Shimokitizawa, but after some 60, 70 years of battling the residents of Shimokitazawa who didn't want to sell their land and who didn't want to forfeit their way of life and their charming neighborhood, refused to sell their land to the Odakyu train company, and it retained its character and it retained its charm, and Odakyu finally surrendered, so to speak, and turned their 4-lane train idea into an underground bypass. So now there's tons of people hanging out here at the station. It's still kind of under development. They're getting ready to build a little bus rotary here. In this direction is the north side of the station, and in this direction is the south side of the station and the South Shotengai. And this is the new Mikon shopping street, kind of a charming little shopping promenade filled with really cool restaurants. I'll show some of them to you right now. A cool place to come and be entertained. And some people say, hey, I don't like it, but I actually think it's quite nice. So here you go, check it out. They've got some interesting teishoku maybe, or some izakaya. They've got Vietnamese here, banh mi, Chinese and Thai, and the real dim sum for Hong Kongese maybe. More interesting fare. The Staya bookstore, which I'm working with from time to time. And here we are on the Spanish stairs, and I am going to meet my friends right now. Bryce and Michael, Tokyo Record Style friends, top 5 record friends, and I am meeting them at this place. Aren't I? It's a shop where they have refrigerators of beer, and you help yourself to the beer. I thought they were here, but I might be at the wrong place. I was sure that was it. Oh, maybe they're over here, I see. Ah, I found them. Okay, there they are. I'm gonna say hi real quick, and then I'm gonna sign off for a bit. Hey gents, you're such pretty. Hey. You're on YouTube.
Oh no.
Hello.
What's up, man?
Okay, we're gonna hop off for a little while and enjoy. We'll talk to you later. Dude, okay, listen now. My buddy Bryce is here from Phoenix?
Hey,
Phoenix, right?
Yeah.
Bryce is connected on Gomensai desu ka? Jama desu ka? Okay, so Bryce just rolled into town. He's been connected to me on very, very encouraging on Tokyo Record Style. my homie Michael Warren, who you know from Top High Records. They've got the Minnesota connection, and he's back in Japan. Bryce has got Japanese connections, and he's here frequently. And we got to hang last time for the first time, and it was an awesome hang. We got to do at Garageville. You can check out the posts on Tokyo Record Style. Go to tokyo.record.style, and you can see the posts of Michael's been featured on Tokyo Record Style half a dozen, if not more times, and Bryce just appeared once. Bryce brings bearing gifts. His wife insists that he brings some candies for us. Peanut butter, okay? The real deal, peanut butter. And dude, he brings an Amoeba record bag. I mean, this alone is like quite treasure.
You should just find the bag.
He brings me my favorite album of all time. The Velvet Underground's Loaded. This is the record that imploded. The Velvet Underground. This is the record that I have signed that I should stop doing this on, that I should retire and put aside. And this is the recently reissued 45 RPM heavy duty remastered. I don't even know. But audio file quality, super, super special new copy of the Velvet Underground. My favorite record of all time. Thank you so much, Bryce. I really appreciate it. I'm really, really, really stoked. Dude, the 75th anniversary, they've done 75 historic albums on Atlantic. Oh my God. Dude, this is, and it's like, it's got, okay, so it's 4 sides maybe. 180 gram, 45 RPM, mastered from original analog tapes, or best available sources. Okay, that's interesting. They tell you, or best available source by mastering engineers. That's okay. We don't judge. Oh, it's done by Chad Chasm. This is a fucking, this is from Wichita. Dude, this is my first Analog Productions. Chad Chasm, shout out to Chad Chasm, woohoo! Oh my God. I don't want to be a total exhibitionist. I'm going to stop doing this here in a second. I know, but Bryce also brought Michael a fucking copy of Nebraska. The best Bruce Springsteen's Nebraska for Michael. And that's a nice copy too. Finally, please. Jeez, dude, some heavy duty pulls, man.
I mean, this is extremely rare, but this is even rare.
Man, dude, Bryce. Okay, Bryce Suzuki. On Insta, you should follow Bryce. I may oblige him to bring you gifts wherever you are in the world. You need to get in touch with this guy, Bryce Suzuki. Amazing photographer, amazing dad, amazing traveler, amazing hardworking dad. So salute to Bryce. Thank you so much. Big supporter of Tokyo Record Style. And okay, signing off. There's one other thing I'm going to show you in Shimokitizawa, but a little bit later. I want to go. Did you guys see the exhibition?
No.
Okay, we're gonna go see that a little bit later. Okay. Okay, we just had Thai food at, what's this restaurant called? Bangkiran. But come to Bangkiran. Shimokitazawa, really friendly staff, and really good Thai food that you can have here on the street. Oh, that's a very important one too. Don't want to forget anything. I'm here with my homie Bryce Suzuki, we've been chatting up all night long, talking about America, Japan, music, ideas for Tokyo Record Style, a good brainstorm, fun session. I'm so jazzed, so proud, carrying my Amoeba bag through streets of Shimokita, representing San Francisco, California. Which one's this from?
From Hollywood.
Hollywood version. I've never been to the Hollywood Amoeba. I've only been to the San Francisco one. We are gonna wind this night down after some Thai food and some zero beers with friends, fellowship, walking right past the legendary Flash Disc Ranch, the coolest shop in all of Shimokitazawa, the coolest record shop in all of Japan, Flash Disc Ranch. Tsubaki-san, giving a shout out to my homie Tsubaki. And this happens to be the Shimokitazawa Light Festival. And there are some enormous public temporary installations that celebrate the city, featured on Tokyo Record Style before. Maybe I'll leave a link to the very sweet couple that I photographed in front of one of the installations last year, but we're gonna go check them out. There's the KO line. Gonna take it home. This very spot. This is the very first spot that when I came to Shimokitazawa, we parked our motorcycles right here. This used to be a little tiny tunnel. Now it's this big giant bridge, but it used to be this little tiny underpass. And under the underpass, we parked the motorcycles right over here, and there was a beautiful mural, this crazy gorgeous mural that went all over the underpass. Super psychedelic, looked like a mural from the Mission in San Francisco. And I saw funky people walking down the street with guitars on their back, dragging along pedal cases and keyboards, and I thought, what is this place? And it was Shimokitazawa, and I basically have been hanging out here. These are my stomping grounds ever since. This is the Honda Gekijo Annex, where there is some cool, way off Broadway, avant-garde theater. And the main Honda Gekijo is inside this crazy building behind us. There's a famous donut spot here. Guys, I'm very near one of the most coolest and secret bars in all of Japan. It's around here. I'm not going to tell you where it is, but if you come to Shimokitazawa and you come around here, you may just find the secret no-name bar that is open only to the coolest of coolest in the know people. Maybe we'll go have a nightcap there before heading back. Here is the famous Les Enfants de Paradis. I don't know so well, but this is a cool little theater lovers bar. There's lots of movie posters and cool sort of theater swag. And this right here is Bar Juice. They've got an incredible video game selection that you can play here. This is Nishimba. Nishimba is a really cool bar. It actually is a very famous izakaya in Tokyo. Famous because, one, they have fantastic food and fare, but occasionally the actors and actresses from the various theater productions here, whether they be at the Honda Gekijo or the Suzunari theater actors will come and do little manzai, two-person sort of Abbott and Costello shtick comedy inside the various restaurants, and that's one of them where they come, and if you have a few Klubecks, you can buy a rose from them. Not exactly, but it's something like that. I think this is where it is. Is this where it is? Yeah. Do we know? And this is the site of Eat a Peach, which is so sad. It's gone. Eat a Peach is gone. It just disappeared one day.
Oh, it was here.
Oh, it's gone. The installation's gone for the day, maybe.
Yeah, maybe close it down.
Okay, it's gone for the day. Let's go check. Okay, this is where it would be. All right, that's a little anticlimactic, but and alakazam! We bring you the moon. It wasn't here, but now it's here. Pay no attention that I have a slightly different hat on, and that it might be a different day on the calendar, but we are here at Moon Art Night in Shimokitazawa under the beautiful installation called Moon Museum by the artist Luke Jerram. And it's a really wonderful piece, and the whole town has come out to participate in Moon Art Night. There's light installations all around Shimokitazawa, and we are going to take you, we being me and my pal Bryce, who's I'm hooking up with again in Shimokitazawa, we are going to bring you to a couple of spots and show you some of the light installations that are going on at Moon Art Night Shimokitazawa. We are on the north side of Shimokitazawa where the train tracks used to be, and there used to be a gate, a fumikiri gate that ding 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 that opened and closed as the trains went by. The trains were put underground to avoid congestion of all the cars, and now there's this beautiful, nice promenade that we hope is going to remain really nice over the coming years. We're still sort of developing the space, and this is the second or third year in a row that the Moon Art Night has come to Tokyo, has come to Shimokitazawa. Very, very happy to get to share this beautiful, amazing exhibit. The detail of the moon here is really incredible. I don't have any clue how they made it, but it's so big and it sort of catches you off guard because it's just absolutely sort of alien. It's just
Kind of surreal.
it is surreal. There's the word I was looking for. So if you're in Shimokitazawa at the end of the summer, then I encourage you to come down here to this market at the end of the road where the station is, and you can see the moon art installations and have some food truck fare. And they have a little stage here where you can have concerts, and it's really quite nice. And everybody's taking their selfie. Here, Bryce, let's hop in here. We'll get a selfie of the
moon.
Of the moonlight. There we go. Perfect. Hey, there's our thumb. Hey, Elizabeth! There's my friend. Oh my God, with a little one. This is number 2. This is number 2. Okay. To be continued. Hey. All right, that was fun. We saw our friends Elizabeth and AG, filmmakers and movers and shakers in Tokyo with their family. Did a little family photo with them. Just said goodbye. Bye, guys. Okay, and we've got dango and ramen and what's the kakigori, frozen ice, and shaved ice. Yes, sorry, that's correct. Shave ice. We've got some Hawaii blood in the house, so we got to be careful to get that right. Shave ice. Okay, so that is Luke Jerem. I'll leave his name right here, and really amazing installation. It's traveled all around the world, and I think we're really lucky to have it in Shimokitazawa. I actually met the woman who puts on Moon Art Night. She is a organizer who works for the Odakyu train company, and I think this is part of their activity. So thank you, Odakyu, for beautifying our neighborhood with cool art. Art and culture will be the things that bring the world and keep the world together. So please, more cool art and culture. We are right now on Ichibangai, the #1 street it's called. And I actually had aspirations once for putting a art festival on this very street. A long time ago, I had delusions of grandeur that I would have this photo lab and hang out, a digital and analog lab, and I can even show you the place that I looked at to potentially rent. Got pretty far along in the process, and my partner for the project bailed out on me, but so many things happened because they happened the way that they happened. But we have an amazing art festival in Tulsa called Mayfest. You probably have like a summer art festival, or I think it actually happens in the spring. This beautiful art festival where they close down major streets and the whole town turns into a living art gallery. Speaking of gallery, here's the Gallery Hana in Shimokitazawa. This place always has really nice exhibitions. There's often like student exhibitions here, but all different kinds of stuff. It looks like we might have missed the chance to see what's going on at Hana, but a really cool gallery. It's like a cool triangle building. But yeah, this would have been like a dream come true to have this whole street just filled with tents. You know, the kind of tents where people are selling their wares and the things that they make. This is funny. This is the old local Sento, the local public bath that has since become a recycled clothing store, the New York Exchange. This was once a public bath where I used to come and have a beer with my friends and hang out, and it's kind of an interesting part of Japanese culture. It doesn't seem open yet, but we are walking past Upstairs Records. And Masato is the proprietor of in a really interesting space called Upstairs Records. He had a record shop in New York City called Weekend Records. And it was a kind of interesting record shop where you would go in and you couldn't actually dig through the records. You had to explain to Masato kind of what your tastes were and what you liked, and he would pick out the record for you. And it was apparently a really loved place in Brooklyn, and it's been documented on the webs, and if I can find the link, I'll dig it up. And here, across the way, We are at Bear Pond Coffee Shop. And I've talked about Bear Pond. They're closed right now, but they have a nice little mural on the shutter. To deter graffiti and vandalism, some of the store owners will commission artworks for their shutters so that they can both beautify the neighborhood and deter, like I said, vandalism. And what is funny about Bear Pond, now don't quote me on this. So Bear Pond is a very cool coffee shop. And you can see he's got a very nice espresso machine. It probably costs as much as like a small car. And I think that might be him. I can't recall. I haven't been there in a while, but it is said, the last time I checked, that you cannot get espressos after 9 a.m. because too many people have awoken and they draw too much power on the grid. And the slight dip in power that's being drawn from the grid won't produce the quality of power that's needed for the premium espresso. So espressos are off limits after 9 a.m. He's the coffee Nazi. I vaguely remember this to be true. How you doing, Bryce? You hanging in there?
I'm good.
Okay, am I just, I'm good? This is the,
yeah,
okay.
I've been to that place. And,
Okay.
Apparently have entered awards and they've won
they're
world
good.
awards
Okay.
for their coffee or whatever.
This is a shisha place. I wonder what it would be like to live near or above the shisha place. What is this? Bryce is dropping some science on me.
This is a cool little cafe, and there's a woman from, I think, well, she's from here. She moved back here, but she lived like 20 years in Texas. She speaks perfect English.
Wow.
Very nice, very cool place, but they're not always open.
Okay, Abil. We'll have to go check this place out. Let's just have a quick peek. Okay, looks very nice. Hello. It's got a little Texas spirit in there. I can feel it. I see the Coca-Cola machine. I see some Bushmill stuff. We might have to stop back by there. That looks pretty good. And this is the dentist office that I was once considering making home to my lab, which was going to be called Loop, in the loop. Every Shoten guy has a clock and watch shop run by a little old man and a little old lady, and we often wonder how these places manage to survive, and yet they do. And thank goodness they do because they add charm to the neighborhood. And new ramen shop. Ooh, spice ramen, duck stock ramen, dang. That looks pretty good. I made a photo of this shutter 20 years ago. I actually hosted a photo walk once in Shimokitizawa, the shutters of Shimokitazawa. I went and I sort of pinpointed on a map, like pre-iPhone, all the various shutters worth checking out in Shimokitazawa, and we went on a tour with a dozen or so photographers. Here's a new building. Tattoo parlor, which used to be a really cool toy shop. And here is the sort of entrance of the Ichibangai street, which has been updated, I think, 3 times since I've lived here. They've had a couple of different versions. We passed Record Station, which I didn't point out, on Ichibangai, which was very near Upstairs Records. And behind me, down this way, quite a ways, is the Hummingbird Records. It's another cool record shop. What's going on here? Hold on a second. We've got a flicker or something happening. What is going on? Okay, it's LED lights they're flickering right at 50 frames per second. And once we get back into the incandescent lights or the filtered lights, why are we talking about lights? Okay, I'm turning this off till we get to the next spot. So we're outside. I've never actually been here before, but there is a famous crepe shop that is here that always has a long queue of people lining up. I'm not exactly sure why, but one of the things that I know about this shop is that it always has little characters. It has like little plush dolls, and I don't know if that has anything to do with why it's popular, but this is the least crowded I've ever seen it. There's only one person waiting. By me, the Vietnamese sandwich place with the sort of goose duck liver, spicy nampara, delicious, pickled veggies. Do you guys, is banh mi a thing in the States now?
Banh mi, yeah.
How do you say it?
Banh mi.
Banh mi, okay. The Thai place that we went yesterday, no, but that was I didn't realize, I asked him what the name of the place was. I didn't recognize it, but when I heard it again and read it, it was a Shimokitazawa institution that I thought disappeared from Shimokitazawa, and I used to go there all the time at its old location. I'm very happy to see that it's still going strong at a new location, and I should have recognized that it was the same place and maybe even the same people. This place looks really cool, Radio City. I've never been here before. Looks quite cool. It's got like a little subway vibe to it. Wow, what's this? Look at this, is like a little, it's like a fabricated bar. Is that metal? Is that? Yeah. Wow, that is pretty cool. Man, this has been built in the interim that I haven't been on the street. Okay, so here's the Moon Art Festival. I know it's dark, 2024, and we are off to see. We're going down the rabbit hole.
It's up here, right?
So we're here inside Shimokitazawa Station, making a shortcut to bonus track. They've just recently redone the station, and here at Talking Gorilla is where we used to do our top 5 record event. Sadly, they've closed, and we got sort of shut out of the place, but we have a new home at Kurage Bar, Kurage Jellyfish Bar, in the Reload complex next to the Mustard Hotel, which has record players in every single room. It's a really cool concept that you could maybe like go record shopping in Shimokitazawa and then go stay at Mustard Hotel and play your records, maybe go on a date. Maybe it's like a level up from like a love hotel. We're cutting through the station. Really an interesting new development here in Shimokita. This was like a really dead zone that has since become a cool little plaza even. I'm told that my friends actually, Lita and Wade, from New York, are participating in this light exhibition, and their installation is in one of the stations where I think it's required. It's a ticketed area, and I would go, but it closes at 9, and I don't think I'm going to make it. Wow, look at this. Oh, and there it is. I can see it off in the distance. Okay, like TDM. I don't. I love the color scheme. I wonder if it's the lighting that creates the effect or if it's the material. It looks like it's a combination of both. Really cool. Super Tokyo vibe. I dig it. Oh, there's Never Neverland. Our friends at Never Neverland are maybe sponsoring this place. I don't know what to make it all. Here's a nice little courtyard with all the Chochin lights. It's so lovely. And these are all like little shops, and this is the Hakko department store, and they have, I think, like local handmade foods and drinks, and there's a little something up here and a little staircase that ventures around, and there's lots of little places to check out. I want to stop and get a little something to cool down and get a drink, but I want to see if Pianola is open real quick. It's just right around the corner. There's a cool record shop actually in here. I'm pretty sure that they're closed, but let's just have a quick peek to see if it's open. Are you okay, Bryce? Okay. Like, right, we should sit down and have a little chill. Right? Oh, it's open. It's open, maybe. Oh, it's open. Let's go check it out. Yay! Pianola Records. This is a really cool record shop. It has lots of really weird, cool music and very highly curated. I'm gonna stop filming. And the reason it's called Pianola is because there's a piano right here in the middle of the room. And I see a funky record over there with a funny title and a bunch of weird stuff. Let's go say hello and check it out. And if it's okay to film, we'll fire the camera back up. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are at Pianola Records in bonus track in Shimokitazawa, and I just got the okay from the very kind and friendly Yohei-san that we can come back here another time and make a little video. And I met the very lovely Aya-san, who knows about Japanese mythology, and she's a performer. And I'm gonna link her stuff in the show notes. Gishiki is the name of her troupe, and I'm very curious to check it out. Pianola's famous for very highly curated music that is stuff that you are not going to find at the typical record store, and I am going to bring you here on a trip in the future. Yohei-san, the proprietor, and just had a wonderful chat with me about a mutual shared love for Tom Waits, who I've talked about a gajillion times on my channel, and I just scored a Hoagie Carmichael record that has Stardust, Hong Kong Blues, Georgia on My Mind, Japanese pressing with the obi, and he said to me, just like in the High Fidelity movie, I said, I don't have any Hoagie Carmichael. He said, what's wrong with you? Don't tell anybody you don't own any Hoagie Carmichael. So it's like a real scene out of High Fidelity. So stay tuned for another video from Pianola Records in the not so distant future. Thank you so much for having me. To be continued. And that just about wraps her up. Sorry there for the abrupt ending, but I want to say thank you for your attention and watching this long meandering video of me through Shimokitazawa. I hope you enjoyed our little misadventure here and enjoyed Moon Art Night Shimokitazawa, which I really recommend you go check out. It's going to be on until April 29th, so if you're in Tokyo now or around this time of year, keep in mind that you can go see these beautiful art installations. There's many more that I didn't get a chance to visit, so please be encouraged to go check it out. One more very big thank you to my homies Bryce, Suzuki, and Michael Warren, who both gifted me some amazing records. Two of my favorite records, Loaded, Velvet Underground's fourth and final album, the newest pressing from Analog Productions. Thank you so much, Bryce. And Michael, I didn't mention, scored me a single off of another one of my all-time favorite records, Trey Anastasio's 2012 masterpiece, Traveler. So I was very stoked. It was almost like a little birthday party. So thanks, gents. That was a lot of fun, and thanks for coming around Shimokitazawa with me, and until next time, I'll see you at the record store. Bye.